Hi everybody, it's Mandie Stevenson from Mandie's Magical Marketplace in Lewes, Delaware again. As promised again, I'm doing my Empath Part 1 series tonight, all about what I've learned as a psychic medium, teacher, healer, and what I know about empaths. I've been studying this for a very long time, probably over 20 years, and I've always known what an empath is, even when it was weird and a lot of people didn't even know what it was. Thankfully, now it's getting to be a little more known, and you can look it up on Google and find many different sources and blogs about it. But I wanted to give you what I have learned because I do talk about it every single day. And I have found some really incredible ways to feel better as an empath and live a more empowering life. And that's what life's all about, right? Is to feel better and not be drained all the time so that you can't fulfill your life and your visions. So without ado, I wanted to start with what an empath is. It's E-M-P-A-T-H. I always say it's empathy without the Y. What an empath person is somebody that is very sensitive to energy. You can feel other people's emotions and energy, which is conflicting in itself because when you're standing beside somebody and you're in a crowd, people are feeling all kinds of things. So imagine how distraught you can feel when you absorb that energy inside of you. So with that being said, you have to be very careful about your energy and protecting it. Also, I always say empaths are hypersensitive. A lot of empaths I know, including myself, are super sensitive to crowds, also to smells. I'm really weird about smells. I want it to smell just right in my home or I get kind of depressed. Also, we are hypersensitive to taste and people in general. So you know, a lot of us suffer from anxiety, depression, and different kind of emotion issues like that, even insomnia. So I always say, what is the sign of being an empath? Well, here's how it goes. The sign of being an empath, a few signs, and this isn't everybody. This is just a few things I picked up. A sign that you're an empath is children love you, animals love you, and you love them. Also, elderly people, they love you, they'll tell you their whole life story. People love you in general because they feel that purity you have in your spirit and they want to share things with you. Even things you don't want to hear about, they want to share it anyway. So that is a sign that you're an empath. If people just randomly come up to you and tell the whole life story in one sitting, that's probably because you're an empath. Number two is usually, you know, you have a lot of intuition and you feel deeper, think deeper than the average person. A lot of high-level empaths I know are very psychically inclined, whether they know that or not, and they are open to spirits, and spirits can communicate with them whether they even realize that or not. Also, you know you're an empath if you attract a lot of toxic people and narcissists. I mean, if you're not an empath, that can happen as well. I mean, this is the real world. But for almost every single high-level empath I've ever talked to, from the age of like 30 and up, they have been in a destructive, heartbreaking, narcissistic relationship, whether that be with a family member or with a lover or a friend. We easily can be taken advantage of, and that's due to the fact we have a saver syndrome about us. We are savers. We love to save. We love to help. We have that purity inside of us, and that can get you in very, very big trouble. Another sign that you're an empath is you think all the time. Like you literally cannot shut your brain down. It's hard to focus. You just think, 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 think. That is a bad thing too, because if you're not focusing, you could miss out on some things. Also, overthinking can cause a lot of issues such as depression and anxiety. So I'm going to talk about ways to help with that. And also, every empath I know is a very, very old soul. Usually when I look at them, I see 10 to 20 or more past lives. That's quite a bit of past life regression. And that also means they take all of that energy with them to the next life so they can feel a little bit more deep, sad, or know more than the average person, which can cause anxiety sometimes. So those are a few examples of what an empath is. Also, one other thing is insomnia. A lot of empaths, including myself, has struggled with insomnia our whole life. That's usually because our brains don't shut down. So we go to lay down and all of a sudden our brain is in overtime. And it can be a very frustrating thing. So insomnia is usually a big sign. Also, if you do not learn to correct this and start to protect yourself, you can have a really big problem with your health. A lot of people have reported after not protecting themselves and being abused through narcissistic relationships for many, many years, they start having physical symptoms such as headaches up at the top. Autoimmune goes hand in hand with all empaths, or at least the majority of high-level empaths, not all empaths. I have a thyroid issue, and I know a lot of people that have autoimmune, such as Lyme's or lupus, all kinds of different things. And my personal belief on that is that because we absorb so much in our spirit with our energy, that it flares maybe nerves in our body and different things and sets it off into a negative pattern. It kind of makes sense, right? So, you have to learn to protect yourself early. My platform in life is to try to reach teenagers and people younger, because I really feel if I would have known this when I was really young, I probably would have saved myself some heartache. I mean, everything is a lesson, right? I mean, even the bad. But it wouldn't hurt to save yourself from some of the pain that some of us have experienced. And I know all of you watching are thinking to yourself, I've been through this at some point in my life. And I'm actually going to do a whole series on the narcissist versus the empath. And it's an insert of part of my book that's coming out hopefully this year. So with that being said, there are different levels of empaths from what I've seen as a psychic medium. There's a 1 to a 10, 1 being the least, 10 being the highest. Another question I get is all people empaths or are all people narcissists? No. Okay, so there's average people that I wouldn't put in a category as a narcissist or as an empath. And then there are narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths, and then you have empaths from a 1 to a 10. One is they aren't affected as much as higher level empaths. They're able to deal with things a little bit better and don't suffer as much. High level, of course, that's like DEFCON 5. You really need to tune in if you are a high level empath, because you really need to learn how to protect yourself to have a better life. The savior complex is in all of us as an empath, and I don't know about you guys, I am animal lover to the highest extent. It's almost bad sometimes. I do almost unreasonable things, like if I saw an animal on the side of the road and they were hurt or they didn't have a home, I would jump out of my car and pull over on the side of the road in rush hour. I would grab the animal, I don't care what's on it or what's going on, and I'd put it in my car. And then I would figure out what I could do next for that animal, whether find it a new home or a place it needs to go, or I keep it. I've kept many animals that have come to me in my lifetime. I believe that if you are an empath, most of us have this love for nature and animals, or at least one or the other. Like, you feel connected with nature. You want to get out there, you want to feel it. You're into herbs, you're into the energy of the earth, things like that. So we are savers, and that saver complex is great, and it can help so many people and so many things and animals and children. However, we always have to protect ourselves first. And the problem with the saver complex is we end up exerting all of our energy into helping others, but we haven't helped ourselves first. And that's a big problem, because if you're not feeling good and you're not refreshed, how are you going to help anybody else? And most importantly, your family and people that are relying on you day to day. And that's something I had to learn a very, very hard way. I've had a few relationships that ended, and I believe that some were because I was with a narcissist, and some was because I ended up draining myself to the point that I became selfish and didn't want to spend time with my loved ones. So I had to take a long, hard look at reality and what it was, and I had to see that things have to change. I have to put myself number one, and there is nothing wrong with putting yourself number one. That is not selfish. That is love. love for yourself and your energy and your spirit, because that is the most beautiful thing in this world. And then the next would be my family. I had to put them after that because they need me. And then after that, with what reserve I have left, I do my readings and I give back and I share and I teach. And then if I feel myself becoming drained insignificantly, then I start to rest, and I don't feel selfish about shutting down and resting and regaining my strength to start fresh again. A lot of people get themselves in such a drained situation that they get in a rut, and then they become depressed and they get anxiety. And for empaths, we're very extreme people. It's very hard for us to get out of a rut. Once we get in it, we are in it and we can go deep. So another thing I wanted to talk about is a lot of empath people have addictions. And that's another crazy thing, but very normal if you think about it. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I used alcohol to escape how I feel. It numbed me. It made me feel better as a person. And I feel that's what's going on with a lot of addicts as empaths. You want to cover up, and we are excessive people. We want all or nothing. We're very loving. We're very giving. We want the best. And then when we feel let down by society or by ourselves, then we end up trying to cover that pain. So you have to be very careful about addiction as an empath. Also, you have to be very careful in general with just energy, because since we are more open, almost like an open portal, we can attract very negative energy, and anything from as low as an energy vampire to a narcissist to a malignant spirit or malevolent spirit that wants to come after you. So, I've seen it in all my years as a psychic medium. I've seen it many times. So you really cannot let your defenses get down and so tired that you don't have your energy to fight and protect. These are very important things to remember. Now, as some tips I wanted to give as far as the empaths go is, at my store, I sell these crystal kits that are pre-made, and I think it's really helpful. And I have a kit here, and it's called the Empath kit. And the Empath kit is really good to have. You carry it on you, and it consists of 5 different crystals. Right here, we have the blue aventurine. We have the fluorite. We have the hematite, the angelite, and the black tourmaline. So let's go over them real quick. What's the fluorite do? So a fluorite is great because it keeps you balanced and levels your chakras and relieves anxiety. And then this blue aventurine helps keep you disciplined and determined and good confidence, because a lot of us do suffer from a lack of confidence in ourselves because we can just be very hard on ourselves in general. The hematite is awesome. Probably one of my favorite crystals. It's that nice shiny silver, and a lot of people use them as rings or bracelets. And what that does is help calm your mind so it's not just rolling 24 hours a day, and kind of get you to focus and stay on task, which we all need. Also, the angelite is a great one. It's just a very peaceful stone. It just brings good emotions and peace of mind. And then any black crystal, mostly any black crystal, but black tourmaline I call the empath crystal because it helps so much protect the person from negative energy. So let's put it this way. You take all of these crystals and you keep them in your pocket, okay? I always say take the 7-day challenge. See how you feel. See how much better you feel with them on you versus not with them on you. And then basically the black crystals work as a shield so that when negativity is around you, like that coworker or that bully at work or the bully at home or whoever's around that's causing chaos, the energy goes to that crystal before it gets to you, so you stay feeling level and clean. So that's a great thing in itself. And then some crystals help bring in things or help throw things into motion and magically bring them into your life. So crystals are just a beautiful thing. They're pretty much cheap just for the standard little tumbled crystals. And they can change your life, and you can feel much better at the end of the day just by wearing these. I also have a kit called Protection. And with that, we have a black tourmaline and a quartz and a dragon blood jasper and a moss agate. And those are good to have as well. As far as the other things for protection, I make a protection cleansing bath salt that's really good. It consists of some hyssop and some other magical ingredients in it that can really help keep you clean of negativity that attacks your spirit or energy as well. Next is the sage spray. This works very well. I make it with a lot of love, and of course I make it with some sage, but also other protection ingredients. And it is the top seller at my store. It smells amazing, and it's all natural. And it really has a property about it that when you spray it, and you can't sage because you're in an office and you can't have smoke in your office, it really helps just give you that little layer of protection with your crystals. And then, of course, we have the sage bundles, which are incredible. I believe I sage sometimes 5 times a day. I just can't get enough of how it makes you feel free and clear and removes negativity. So I recommend saging at least once a week your whole house, and then saging if you have trouble sleeping, doing it before bed. And then if you're coming in and you had a really rough day and you've been in a big crowd, you should probably sage yourself. You don't have to do the whole house, but at least yourself. This is a Palo stick. Palo is amazing. It smells just incredible, and it smells like a burnt wood, like a fire. And I believe that this helps empaths, and it puts them in a good mood and makes them feel emotionally stable after they've been really upset. So I usually do this in course, like in connection with the sage, and I think it just gives you a double good energy boost for your home and yourself. Also, I like dragon's blood as far as incense for protection as empaths. I believe it smells amazing, and it really does. Dragon blood protects you in many ways. And then I use sun eye oil at my store. This is frankincense and myrrh. Frankincense and myrrh can really help with a multitude of things. It's like a wide variety oil. It smells amazing as well, and I just believe it really helps. I usually use the oils with chime candles. You can dress them. They burn very quickly and easily. So I literally just maybe carve in something that, like protection, if I feel like I really need to amp it up a little bit and I'm really drained. And then I will take the oil and I will take it like this. You can do a Q-tip or your finger. And I just dress from the bottom to the top. Just a little goes a long way. And then I burn it, and I let the whole thing burn down. And it just really helps with, removing any bad negativity that's around you or somebody's putting towards you. So that's a quick little tip you can do. Also, as an empath, if we are dealing with bullies, which many of us are, the simple freezer trick can work wonders as well, where you take a baggie, like a plastic baggie, quart size, fill it half with water, and then take the name of the person that's bothering you, or you can just write all enemies or all bullies towards me, and write it on a piece of paper, fold up the paper, and put it into the baggie, and then make sure that the piece of paper is in the water and it's at the bottom. And then put it in the back of the freezer, and maybe put something that people won't touch around it so that it won't be exposed. And usually we'll notice right away. It'll give that bully a little nudge to calm down or go away or stop bothering you. If you want to sweeten them up a little, you can add a few drops of honey. And it's just a great way to kind of just freeze things up for a little bit. When you're done, you can take it outside and dig a hole and just go ahead and plop the ingredients on the inside into the hole, cover it up, and then recycle the bag. It's pretty simple. That's just a few tips there. Being educated is really the most important thing, guys. Like, Education is power, and I've always believed in that, and I always say it, and it's just important. Once you're educated, you're empowered, and nobody can mess with you anymore because you already are ahead of the game. So education, learning everything you can is important. My next series is going to be on the empath versus the narcissist, a nightmare waiting to happen. And it's going to go over all the different types of narcissists and energy vampires and ways to stay ahead of the game, how to love yourself after being wrecked by a narcissist, ways to heal, magical tips, all kinds of different things. So I hope that you stay tuned for part 2, Empath versus the Narcissist. That will come out within a week. And I really appreciate all of your support. Just make sure that you subscribe and comment and let me know how you're doing and if you feel you are an empath. And I can always write back and let you know what level I pick up from who you are and your energy, just to let you know. And if you have any questions, I would be happy to help you answer them. So also, if you are interested in coming to my store, it's at 818 Kings Highway, Lewes, Delaware. And I have an online store at mandiesmagicalmarketplace.org, and there you'll find the crystals we talked about and all the other ingredients. Also, please find me on Facebook and Instagram, and you can see my blogs and things I do and some of my events that I have. I am at the Milton Theatre on January 12th. This is the following Sunday, and I'm going to do random readings for the crowd, some education. So if you are interested in attending, go to the Milton Theater's website in Milton, Delaware, or to Eventbrite and sign up and get your tickets. I appreciate all your support and love. I hope all of you have a beautiful, magical evening, and you have taken this in, and this has helped support your soul, heal your soul, and know that there is hope and ways that you can live a healthier, better life as an empath. Have a magical evening, everybody. Thank you.